Sloane Coles is hot on Nikki's heels. Double gold here in the 2015 Pan Ams in eventing, an anchor to the winning US team this week.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Marilyn
welcome to
Little
the
is
Mad
looking
Barn
to keep her momentum.
$25,000 Grand
Connor Swale
Prix
is the
here on
top-ranked
Sunday
rider
afternoon
in the
Stone's
field today.
Nations
He's
Cup
world
Cindy
number
Jarrett
20
and Jennifer
and is a
Dean
previous
make up our
Nations
jump
Cup
crew
winner
today.
from Thunderbird.
Thank them for all their hard
He is
work
one
this week.
to watch.
Both senior judges from Ontario. Course designing in the main stadium this week is Olaf Peterson Jr. Olaf has been in the ring, a rider himself many times, and now spends the last 2 decades as an FBI course designer. He's been responsible for courses at the highest levels of show jumping all over the world. We have really been enjoying watching his tests for the riders over the last week. We also like to thank our resident photographer, Ms. Laurel Jarvis. Laurel is the official photographer of Vanderstone, both for the competitions here at the Caledon Equestrian Park and in Rockwood. She works very hard to capture all the fantastic moments throughout each show, and we are grateful to have those memories for competitors and families to treasure. This presentation is proudly presented by our great friends at Mad Barn. We'd like to take a moment to extend our gratitude to them for their generous sponsorship of today's National Grand Prix. Mad Barn is dedicated to advanced equine nutrition with scientifically formulated supplements and feeds which help horses perform at their very best. Their commitment to research, innovation, and horse welfare make them an invaluable partner to riders and horse owners across the country. Thank you, Mad Barn, for your incredible support of our sport and for helping make this event possible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to welcome our horses. But before that, we'd like you all please to rise for the playing of the Canadian National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to everyone joining us from around the world on the stream via our live stream partners, Clip My Horse. And for those of us in the stadium, we are into another beautiful afternoon of show jumping here at the Caledon Equestrian Park on this fine Sunday morning here. 11:30 start time here. We're getting going in the main ring, and we are set for some action right now with our first rider. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our first rider of the course here today in the Mad Grand Prix here. This is Shawn Join and Donner. This is a horse owned by Vortec LLC. Donner is a 15-year-old Belgian warm-blood gelding by Thunder VD Voethoven and out of a daughter of the renowned breeding stallion Heartbreaker. Shawn and Donner competed in the 4-star competition in Traverse City last month and the Modified Grand Prix yesterday. This is Shawn Join and Donner. Shawn's been having a very good week here at the Caledon Equestrian Park and coming out on top in a class this week, and he's here aboard Donner, having a nice little time over the first jump here. His horse is looking very, very nice today. Shawn, one of the new breed of Canadian riders here in his 30s now, and he's been doing very well across all his travels in North America. Nice big jump over the Leon's vertical right there. Getting set right now for this big oxer coming in through. Very nice inside cut through that oxer. And up and through the double. Unfortunately, that rail coming down in B in that combination. Big up over the Liverpool there, looking very nice after a good recovery. Big oxer here, nice finish there through that side. Here we now have the big Angel Stone triple through the first, in through B, powering through C, he's got it. Now time could be a factor here. We got to look up right here, and yes, time is the factor here. 82.65. There are a total of 1 rail and 2 faults there for Shawn Join. Shawn Join just finishing up there. Unfortunately, 2 time faults is going to be the round there. 2 time faults plus the rail. Lovely round though, nonetheless, though, for Shawn Join, and that was our first rider here today. Next up here, we've got Jessica Phoenix, and she is aboard Franklin GS, is a 10-year-old Trakehner gelding owned by Iron Duke Enterprises. This pair has been competing together on the Florida circuit last year and here at Angelstone in the Grand Prix this season. They were 3rd in the speed class earlier this week and 4th in last week's National Grand Prix. This is Jessica Phoenix and Franklin GS. Jessica, one of the rare riders competing in the sport today that rides both on the highest levels of eventing and in show jumping, having a little problem with that spruce wood vertical there early on. We'll see if she can recover through this round. Jessica having so much success last year competing here at Caledon has been a bit cold here so far this season, so I'm sure she's looking at turning around a little bit, getting set right now for the big Nations Cup oxer, pounding through there and very nicely cleared on that side. It looks like she's got things back on track running out. She heads into the double and just clipping A. Unfortunately, that first rail coming down in that combination, rounding to the north end of the stadium there under the scoreboard. Being prepped for this Liverpool, very nicely done. And the big oxer coming up. Yes, she's got it nicely. All right, she's gonna get things set right now for this Angel Stone triple. Starting here with this vertical. And up and over the last one. Very nice ride here. So Jessica Phoenix coming through there. She's also going to accumulate some time faults there. 2 rails coming down, a total of 8 faults plus the 4 time. All right, we got our next rider here on course, and this is Kendra Martenfeld and Esgadzno Manchas, owned by Jekyll Enterprise Incorporated. This is an 11-year-old Selle Française gelding sired by Ogano Seat. They won the Meter 30 Junior Amateur 2 phase earlier this week and ended up 9th in the Modified Grand Prix yesterday. Kendra spending her years training here at the Caledon Equestrian Park over across a number of different levels and stepping up today into this
Grand Prix in this nice Sunday morning. Nicely done through the spruce wood vertical right here, getting set for the big BFL Oxter here. BFL proud sponsors of last night's Grand Prix, and unfortunately the rail coming down there for her. We'll tack on 4 on that side. Getting set right now for the Leon's vertical here in center ring. Nicely done. Now this combination has plagued our first 2 sets of riders here. Nicely done. So time, as I said, has played a bit of a factor so far through the first couple riders right here. Time allowed here is set at 81 seconds. Rail coming down there at the Oxer there, tolling up at 8 right now, getting ready for the triple. Beautifully done through there, very nice.
Through the line there, we looked at the clock and just under the time allowed, so definitely beatable on the time allowed there. 80.25 there. 2 rails coming down for Kendra Martinfeld and Esgano. Next up, we'd like to welcome to the ring an American amateur rider coming into the challenge of this course. This is Cara Jones and her own horse, Endgame. This is 16-year-old stallions, a lot of experience there. They competed together last year in the U25 Grand Prix in Wellington, Florida with great results. They have been in the ribbons this past week in the meter 30 junior amateur and open classes in Caledon. Endgame and Cara Jones.
Always nice to have these amateur U.S. riders come up, you know, either for Major League over in Erin, which is coming up in August, or here for Nations Cup Week at Caledon. It's always nice to have so many of our international riders come and enjoy the park here. And Cara Jones has been in the ring a few times this week, getting the lay of the land here in this big, beautiful ring, and she's ready to attack right now with Endgame. Endgame getting set right here for this BFL Oxer. Nicely done. Very nice through the first section of the course right here. She has her horse well packaged here. Endgame getting ready for the Leon's vertical in the middle of the ring right here as the sun begins to open up here in this beautiful course. We're getting ready right now for this giant Oxer right here. She's set and planted and she clears it nicely, getting ready here for the double. Rail coming down in A in that combination. That has been problems all day as they move away from the in-gate there. Let's see if she could recover and get things set back up. We're still looking for a first clear round of the day. Now we don't have a 4-faulter right now, so she might be wanting to pour the time on a little bit as well and see if she can take some seconds off and go up in the leaderboard. Unfortunately, B coming down in the combination and rubbing the rail there in C as well, but it stays up.
Through the line there, no problem with the time allowed there. 80.7 there for Cara Jones from the United States of America in Endgame, tolling up with 2 rails, 8 faults there. So we look to the board right now. We've seen a total of 4 riders so far and no clears. Still waiting for our first clear. I know that we got a lot of firepower down in the order right now, but we are still looking for that illustrious clear round. Moving on now in the order, we welcome Caroline Caton and Lavinja 17. They're next to ride. This horse, owned by Laura Neems, is a 13-year-old Oldenburger mare by Levinson and out of Palooza. They've been competing together out in Lexington, Kentucky in the two-star competition last month, and they were second in the meter 35 two-phase class earlier this week.
All right, pressure's on here. She's getting set here for the Leons. Very nice start so far for the first section of the course here. Steadying up, getting ready to plant for this oxer. Very nicely cleared. Tons of airtime on that side. No issues there at all. She's getting set for this double. Yes, she's got the first one, and B stays up as well. She's tracking very nicely here. Just a touch rub there, but it stays up. She is still navigating perfect so far on the course. Ready for the Liverpool, and she's got it here. Very nicely done. She's setting up this horse very nicely so far. Lavinja 17 is ready to attack the triple. First rail coming down in A, and up and over also the first rail in C. Unfortunately, she has the two rails down.
Two rails coming down, but what a nice round she packaged up just before that. We thought she might have what it took to package up the first clear round of the afternoon, but that Angel Stone triple has been tough, as well as the double on the other side of the field right there. Those have been plaguing our first section of riders right here, but nonetheless, Lavinja 17 and Caroline Caton finishing up there with a total of 10 faults.
No stranger to the winner's circle here at the Caledon Equestrian Park. She's an incredible amateur rider, and we're happy to have her back here competing here in Caledon. Next up is VDL Lightfeet, owned by Fairgreen Sod Farm and ridden by Carly Faraday. This is a 9-year-old Dutch warmblood gelding bred in the Netherlands. He's by Arezzo VDL and out of Horsana. This combination earned second and fifth place in the meter 40 junior amateur division at the Royal Winter Fair last year, and they earlier this week. This is VDL Lightfeet and Carly Faraday.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome here Carly Faraday and VDL Lightfeet here. Still looking for our first clear. Let's cheer them on. The Canadians are back in the ring.
Very nice start here for Carly through the first two here. She's got some nice speed, rounding tight here on the corner, pushing through here on the BFL, and nice rounded plant right there. She's got the leg on and motoring down to her next fence here, and she is getting squared away for this Leon's here. Get the leg on, and she's got it. Okay, very nice. She's pushing through here. Nice little tight corner in here into the Big Nations Cup Oxer, and planted and nails it. Getting set for this double that's been hard all week. She's got her leg on, up and over. Whoa, long spot on that B, but she happens to get some big airtime and gets it done. She's packaging it together and getting ready to round out the last half of this course. Very nice plant up and over that Liverpool there. She has nice momentum here, and I think she's going to be fine on the time, but she spends a little bit of time going around that Nations Cup Oxer. She gets prepared here for the triple.
Up and through the final fence there, we look up and we got 78.64 there on the clock. A rail coming down there for Carly Faraday. And yeah, she was motoring very nicely there. She got stuck up at a couple spots there, but kept the leg on and got the horse moving. And we thought she could have it, but only the last rail coming down in C in the combination there. Now we got one of our great American riders in the ring, and she's been awesome this week. This is Lady Staccato and Kama Godek. It's a horse that is 10 years old. It's a Holsteiner mare by Staccato and out of Lady Levisto 2. This combination finished 10th in the meter 42 phase earlier this week. This is Kama Godek and Lady Staccato. A movement up in the order, actually. We got a young rider here from Canada, and what a rider it is. She has been absolutely incredible, and she is here to thrill us here today. This is Corner Pocket Z, and she's up next with Matilda Candell in the irons. This is owned by Z Group. Corner Pocket Z is a 13-year-old Zangerside gelding, and Matilda is the youngest rider in the class today. They finished up 11th in yesterday's Modified Grand Prix, and they were impressive 4th in the National Grand Prix last month. Matilda, one of Canada's best young riders by a far margin. It's going to be interesting to see how her career materializes. She's got, of course, her great dad, Shawn Candell, one of Canada's most famous and accomplished athletes in the equestrian world, as her father and trainer. And this horse is a special little one too. Not very big, but very, very well talented, of course. She got her legs on, moving very fast there with Corner Pocket Z. She took a rail early, but has recovered nicely so far. We'll see if she can hold together. Long spot there, but she gets it done there with Corner Pocket Z. She rides quite aggressively, this one. She's getting set here. Doesn't have a lot of momentum going into this triple. See if she can keep it through, and she does. Very nicely done with her. And up and over, very nice on the last fence there. What a nice finish after an early rail. You know, so hard to start like that with a rail. But she packaged together a beautiful round right there, just narrowly missing out on her appearance in the jump off. And I know how fast and competitive she is. So Matilda is going to be held back from furthering us today in the jump off. We'll see if someone else can add the name. So far, we're looking down the list. We have just a very, very tight grouping right there with no one passing through the jump out round, but we have a full 10 to go here, so I'm sure we have a few left back in store. Moving on to Shawn Join. This is his second mount of the afternoon right here. He's next to the ring. As I said before, he's a 33-year-old pro rider competing with an 11-year-old Luxembourg gelding, Engay de Maury. This is owned by Anthem Equestrian. This combination Shawn, busy man here around with so many nice horses in his string, riding here for the second time here today, having another crack at getting his name into the jump off, getting set right here with his horse, again ready for the Leons, and he's over it. Didn't spend a lot of time up in the air, but he got over it just nonetheless. Getting ready right here for this Oxer. Yeah, he got it done. Very nice. So far perfect through the first half in the order and getting ready for the double. Bit of a wide turnaround there under the scoreboard. We'll see if that factors into pressure on the clock there with Shawn. He was setting the horse up for the last half of the course right there and taking a bit of his time there. So we'll see if that comes back to haunt him. And we'll see if he can pick it up a little bit as he heads close to home here and getting ready for the triple. A
Very nice, except C comes down there and getting ready for the last through the final. Oh, wow, that triple combination has been tough today, guys. Both the B combination over on the other side and also the triple combination with C coming down so many times. It's a very wide oxer, and they get through, and that C has been really, really difficult. And of course, 4 faults there being tacked on with Shawn Join and Inge. Well, it's always a pleasure to welcome this young lady into the ring. She's an illustrious amateur, but she also spends a lot of time in the business world as well, selling a lot of Caledon's big, beautiful homes in the hills here outside the venue. And she is here in the ring. This is Ashlin Trallion, and she is also from Caledon, and she's next to challenge riding a 9-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding named Landler C. This is a horse owned by Cheryl Ann Schatz. This pair was 3rd in last week's National Grand Prix, and they were winners of this same class back in late June. Ashlin Trallion and Landler C. Ashlin always excels so well in this environment. She's very comfortable in this ring, and she's an amateur rider, and she's been riding for quite some time and having great success with this horse. She's topped the Grand Prix a couple times in the last 2 years, competing both at Angelstone and here in Caledon, and she's looking to see if she can pass on to be the first clear here, powering through, nice momentum into the BFL double. Beautiful jump through that oxer right there, getting set for her next jump. Nice tight turn, getting set for the Leons here. Middle of the ring, up and over, no problem there. Getting set to tackle through on this big oxer. A bit wide coming through. She gets the angle, and very big jump through that nice oxer, and set here. A little stake up here for the, oh, the first rail comes down in A. She just stumbled a little bit heading in there, and that came down there, attacking on 4 for Ashlin Trallion. Set here for the Liverpool, very nice. We'll look to the board. We only have 3 4-faulters there, so we'll see how this time holds up. Up and through B, and B comes down as well. Just light rub there on that side. Through the final fence there, we look to the clock, 76:53, 8 faults, just the light rub there in B. I almost didn't see it. It's right in front of me, and it just barely fell there, and of course a little earlier around there. So 8 faults there, tacking up for Ashlin Trallion, Landler C. All right, we're still looking for our first clear of the afternoon, and it would be amazing if this young lady could get something going here. I've followed this young lady's career for about 12 to 15 years, all the way through from pony jumpers, which she would win all the time. She's a very, very competitive rider, and she's stepping right now into these Grand Prix, and I really like this horse. It's a big, big animal, and she has a great, great rapport with it, and it's going to be interesting to see if she can package it. I saw her ride yesterday in the modified Grand Prix, and she put out a great round. She has a lot of confidence coming in here tonight. This is Grace Gibb and Ancient of Days. This is an 11-year-old Oldenburger gelding out of Cortina KT by Celestial. This combination has been successful so far this season in the meter 30 junior amateur and meter 20 open divisions, and they were 4th in yesterday's modified Grand Prix. Nice start here for Grace Gibbs aboard Ancient of Days. She's got her leg on right here, getting set here for the BFL Oxer. Nice big jump here. This horse looks like he's having a good time out there. He looks like he loves the show ring. Leg on right here, getting ready for the little Leon's vertical there. Nice work there, cutting through inside the island, getting set for the Nations Cup Oxer. Very nice. Oh, she was too tight there in A. Very tight coming into that combination there. She needed a little bit more leg on, and that will hold her up. So she'll get set back now. We'll get our ring crew in to reset that double combination right there. We'll get Grace Gibb ready to finish off the course. Grace trying to get her leg on right here, but the horse is fighting her as she goes away from the in-gate. Long spot now into A, but she gets through it. Very nicely done there. Not easy to reset after a shakeup like that, especially with a rider who's stepping up in here into the Grand Prix. But Grace Gibb is battling back right here with Ancient of Days. Very nice jump through and ready for the Liverpool. Very nicely done. All right, now the big test of this young lady here, this triple combination. She's got to get set and planted for it. Up through A, and B comes down, and through C. Very nicely done there with Grace Gibb, stepping up into here to the big stadium for the Grand Prix. And it was a nice recovery after having a hard time over there in the combination coming out of the in-gate, but she recovered very nicely there. She'll hold up with 19 faults. All right, next up here we've got William Martin, and he's in the irons with Ariel Grange's entry, Jameson. Jameson's a 9-year-old gelding. He was showing in Spruce Meadows earlier this month and started his partnership with William only recently. They competed here last week together and won a meter 2-phase class, and they were 8th in the meter 35 speed class. This is Jameson and William Martin. I've been following this young man's career for a while right now. I've been so impressed with his riding. He was riding earlier down in Florida with Andrew Bournes, and now he's back over and recruited into Lothlorien with Ariel Grange. Ariel, of course, one of the most illustrious owners in Canada, having an incredible string of horses, and William is now part of that team. And she has such a great eye for finding talent, including her partnership with Daniel Coyle, which is, I don't have to explain, has been absolutely incredible with top performances around the world. William Martin's right here with James with a nice start onto the course heading into the BFL. You know, it's not easy getting onto these new horses, particularly, you know, this is a 9-year-old just stepping into this level of competition right here. And William is doing a great job so far, not having too much time so far to get things ready with these horses. All right, moving in right now for the combination, up and over A and through B, no problem there. This is looking pretty good so far. We're still waiting for that first illustrious clear to come through. Held him up a little bit there at that corner, and then that rail came down. You know, it was not a lot of speed he had going into that fence, and got hung up just under the scoreboard there. So holding 4. So far we've got so many of the 4s right now, and this course has been very difficult so far. And he makes nice work of the triple cup. A lovely ride there with William Martin and Jameson. He held up a little bit there under the scoreboard and came down strong there on the rail over in the corner. That 4 falters will hold him down in the order just a little bit. And we look up right now, and so far the fastest so far is Carly Faraday of the 4 falters, and we have a total of 4 rider and horses. They're sitting with 4 fault performances, and we still have another 6 to go, but still waiting for a first clear round. Otherwise, we'll have a jump off with the 4s.
Ladies and gentlemen, she absolutely thrilled us the other night as a rider in the Nations Cup team for Canada. She's back here and getting set with her horse here. This is hometown favorite Carly Campbell Cooper. She's in the ring on Cornet VD Bishop, owned by John Jameson. This is a 9-year-old Belgian warm-blood stallion by Cornet Obelensky and out of Ilya VD Bishop. This combination has had tremendous success this summer, competing out of West at Spruce Meadows and Thunderbird, and we're happy to see them back in the ring in Caledon during Nations Cup week. This is Carly Campbell Cooper and Cornet VD Bishop.
Carly absolutely thrilled the crowd on Thursday night under adverse conditions. It was extremely windy here on the Thursday night for Nations Cup. There was a 2-round performance, of course. She had a bit of a problem in the first round, and then she absolutely electrified the stadium with her second round, posting up a clear performance to keep the Canadians in the hunt. Nice start so far with Cornet here. This is John Jameson's horse. They have such a great chemistry, these two, in terms of training, coaching, and developing these young horses. Spending a lot of time down in Florida in the winter, of course, in the Ocala area. And Carly here has been competing since she was a young girl out in Caledon. She's back here in the stadium. And very nice through the first half of the course here. Okay, now this is the jump that Will had problems with. You need to get the momentum in around this corner. She take it a bit inside there and ready for the Liverpool, and it stays up. Almost a rub there, but she was able to fight it. All right, she is now getting set to round the corner here. Triple in play. She's got to take it home.
Unbelievable there. Wow, what a performance by Carly Campbell Cooper, getting it done. The first clear of the afternoon there. What a ride. She's been having a wonderful week, I hear here, I tell you. And there was some good momentum. Like I said, we talked about a little bit earlier, is that she was absolutely thrilling there in the Nations Cup, keeping Canada in the hunt in round 2 and carried through with a beautiful round with Cornet. That's your first on to the jump-off round. We got our next horse in the ring here. This is Scholander and her horse Eau d'Amour Z. This is an 8-year-old Zangerscheid mare bred in Belgium. He's by LJ Schock and out of Cara d'Amour. They've been competing together in the Modified Grand Prix and Open Division this season. They were 4th in the meter 35 speed class earlier this week and 2nd in a speed class last week. Eau d'Amour Z and Scholander.
Well, Carly just posting up that beautiful round right there. It would be very nice if we could force a jump off here with a handful of horses left to go. That's 5 to be exact. Chanel's getting set up right now with Eau d'Amour Z. Horse got his ears up and ready to attack the course right here. They on a little bit of a hold up there. She preps for the BFL. Very nicely done through that oxer with the speed accumulating through at the midpoint of the course right here. Getting set to round and come across here for the Leons. Nice spot there, right center jump. And she rounds out inside the island here. She gets prepared for the Nations Cup oxer. A big plant and no problem there. Okay, double coming up. Let's see if she has it here. She's getting set. Oh, and she stumbles there. She heads across out of the in-gate. And Eau d'Amour Z had the round packaged up very nicely triple here coming up. She gets set for the Angel Stone. Little stumble there going in. The momentum was off an A, but she happens to get through. Oh, little flat through C, but she made it through very nicely indeed.
Okay, very nice there. Finish off. She's going to tack up a total of 34 faults. Of course, the problem coming out of the in-gate in B in the combination, that was a tough one down there, but she recovered nicely. A little stumble coming into A through the triple combination, but a nice momentum, a little bit flat, but she made it through that triple and finished off nice and strong. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always an honor to welcome our international riders to the rolling hills of Caledon, including the Irish, who we love to have visit so much. They were competing, of course, on Thursday night at the Nations. And we have a great one here with us here today. Mr. Christian Coyle is here, and he's aboard Ma Pomme de Tomerville, and they are next in the ring to test the course here. This horse, owned by Christian Coyle, is a 13-year-old Belgian warm-blood mare by Deauville Van TL, out of a daughter of Contendro 2. This pair finished second in the meter 35 speed class on Thursday this week here in Caledon. Ma Pomme de Tomerville and Christian Coyle.
Christian, a member of the Irish team competing here last Thursday here at the Nations Cup. They had a bit of a problem there that night, slipping down in the order. They just could not catch the Americans and the Canadians. And Christian's back in here today to see if he can set the table right with this beautiful horse, Ma Pomme de Tomerville. Nice start so far as we head into the BFL Oxter in front of the stadium. Grandstands here, very nicely done. Nice momentum through the midpoint of the course, and rounding out, getting ready for the Lions. Very nice inside turn inside the corner here. Slow and steady into that, but no problem on that side, and he's cutting a little tighter than the others here into the double combination, and very nicely done on that side. So far, so good through the midpoint of the course for Ma Pomme. Okay, very nicely done. Up and ready for the Liverpool here. Liverpool hasn't presented too many challenges here today. It stayed up relatively well. And now the big test comes in for the triple. Let's see how he fares through this final line here. Up and over A. B is good. Let's see if he's got C. And he does. All right, one more left to go here. Wow, another clear round. We do have a jump off right here. We're just watching the time allowed if Christian was going to be under, and he very much was, making swift work of the course, tactfully attacking the combination on the other side, on the inside, so he wouldn't get hung up like a lot of the other horses there. And it's a bit of the advantage of being able to go a little bit later down in the order and then clearing through that beautiful triple in fine fashion there. That's your next on to a clear. It's going to be Ireland versus Canada so far with a few left to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got our next American rider here, and what a great one it is, with an illustrious history here competing at the Caledon Equestrian Park, both in eventing and in show jumping. This is Marilyn Little, and she's next to ride with Chalisco Z, owned by 10 Carat LLC. Chalisco Z is 11-year-old Zangerscheid gelding by Chelsini Z and out of Brilliant. This pair was second in the meter 42 phase on Thursday and second in the meter 45 speed class on Friday. This is Marilyn Little, winner of last night's Grand Prix, aboard a great horse, and she's here to attack with Chalisco Z. Marilyn coming up. We've got Marilyn Little here aboard Chalisco Z, winner of last night's Grand Prix. Marilyn, so much experience competing across North America. This is the first time she's been up at Caledon since she was here in the Pan Am Games back about 10 years ago to the date. And it's been great to welcome her and her mom, who's an accomplished equestrian, back up here to Canada. Have her great American friends come up and visit us. She's rounding up very nicely so far through this round, in and through the triple with fine.
Oh, she could do no wrong in this course right here. Shalasco Z and Marilyn Little getting it done in fine form. That's your next on through to the jump off. We were a little bit dry through the first order of the riders, and now we have a total of 3 in here. And this is shaping up to be an international battle for the win tonight. We're going to have so far Canada, Ireland, and USA, all 3 countries represented. It's going to be quite an international battle, and that's going to be one to keep your eye on. The winner of last night's Grand Prix. We'll see if she can continue her winning ways here at Caledon. All right, next up is an incredible rider. Her name is Rachel Schneer. She's next in the ring for the Mad Barn National Grand Prix, riding her own 11-year-old Zangerscheid gelding, Copan de Picobello Z. This is the combination that was second in yesterday's modified Grand Prix, and they won the meter 25 5,000 class on Thursday during the Nations Cup week. She's always one to watch, and this is going to be a nice finish to her class right here with only 2 left to go after Rachel.
Rachel's really been turning on over the last couple years here, particularly in Caledon, having great success here in the Grand Prix. Look at with this horse. This horse has so much talent, and she has a very, very nice rapport with it. It loves to be in this stadium. Very much great experience here, and she's off to a beautiful start right here. Getting set right now for the double. Up and over. Yes, she's got it. We've got a number of international riders here, but of course some of these Canadians have grown up riding here at the Caledon Park, including this one, Rachel Schneer. And so she is very, very familiar with the park and the ring and the settings. And this horse is very much at home jumping here, and he's off through the triple combination right now, extending very flat, but getting it done very nicely indeed.
Wow, the clear rounds are coming in quick succession right now, and Rachel's going to be one to watch because she is such a speed demon when the pressure is on coming into the jump off. So she is really going to be pushing hard to see if she can take her spot on the podium. Now we've got 2 Canadians in the jump off. Guarantee we got Carly Campbell Cooper so far with Rachel Schneer. We can't forget about the Irishman Christian Coyle and American Marilyn Little. So far 4 with 2 left to go. Folks, she's back here with her second ride of the afternoon, and she is aboard Charlotte Chicadance's Virginia GS. This is Jessica Phoenix. She's been competing for the Canadian evented team for close to 2 decades, including at the Olympic Games and the Pan American Games. Virginia GS is a 13-year-old Tricanna mare by Humble GS. Together, they competed a 5-star event in Lexington, Kentucky back in spring this year. They finished second in the modified Grand Prix last Saturday here in Caledon.
Always nice to come back and have the luxury of having 2 horses in these classes. You know, you test a little bit earlier in the round, iron the kinks out a little bit, and she is back here looking to see if she can add her name. The start list for the jump off is starting to grow, and she just rubs that just lightly there. I haven't seen that come down too much today. She's rounding up here through the triple, up and over B, and B comes down, and C is up. So total so far of 8.
Oh, just a little rub at the end, but it happens to stay up, but they lose B along the way in the triple combination and tack on another one. It is going to be a total of 8 faults there with Jessica Phoenix and Virginia GS. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are down now to our final rider in round 1 here, and we look to see if this is going to be the trick for Shawn Droen, the 3rd horse he has in the ring here today. He's aboard Courtois. It's a beautiful animal owned by Vortex LLC. This is a 9-year-old Belgian warm blood gelding by Nakab de Reb, and out of a mare is the daughter of Heartbreaker. This is a fairly new partnership. They've been a successful show together in Traverse City back in June of this year, and they were 3rd in the welcome class on Wednesday and 12th in the meter 50 class on Friday night here at the Nations Cup week in Caledon. This is Shawn Join and Courtois, our final competitor on course in round 1 for the Mad Barn Grand Prix. Shawn smooth and steady so far through the first half of the course here. Little inside there on the Leons. It's a more inside than we've seen earlier by the other riders, and he's up and over here, this Oxer. So far clears and heading into the combination here on the far side of the ring, and the rail comes down in A. That has had at least half of the horses having that rail down here tonight, and it has plagued so many of these riders, so he will not be passing through and challenging the other ones today. We'll see if he can finish strong here as he approaches the Liverpool, up and over there very nicely. Nice slow pace here as he rounds up and prepares this beautiful horse and getting ready for the triple combination here. Planting, nice spot there for A and easily over B. A little bit tight on C, but he gets it done. There's a slight rub, but it stays up and over the final jump that Chet's Park.
Some people figured out that.
All right, we look up at the board, and it was 83.58, so a nice slow pace going around there. We'll tack on the time fault plus 2 rails along the way for our final competitor in round 1, Shawn Droen and Courtois. So, for all of you listening at home and around the world, we'll be pushing up our start list here for the upcoming jump off here in the Mad Barn Grand Prix. And it is going to be a quartet of riders here, 2 Canadians, an Irishman, and USA. You know, it was a great Nations Cup week, and this is a very fitting jump off given the field of riders right here. We'll be seeing Carly Campbell Cooper coming back first. She'll be aboard Cornet VD. We'll be seeing Christian Coyle and Mapum, and Marilyn Little, last night's winner. She is absolutely thrilling here for the crowds, and she is going to be riding Shalasco Z. We'll also be seeing another Canadian, Rachel Schneer, aboard Copan de Picobello Z. All right, folks, we will get things set right now with the short course. We've got our German course designer, Mr. Olav Peterson, who's become a great friend of the family over the years, and we're always honored to have him designing these incredible courses here. And he is joining us here for Nations Cup week, and what a memorable week it's been as we see the Kubota drag crew come in. 3 beautiful tractors there. They're a proud sponsor of the parks here at Angelstone, and they're in here to condition the grounds. For all of you at home, we will take a short break in the action. We'll be back. Enjoy some of the beautiful scenic shots here of the park, and we hope if you're watching at home that you get a chance to visit us in Caledon in a future year. Folks, we'll be back in the stadium in about 5 minutes' time. Take a little break, move on over, grab a drink, a Pommies perhaps over at the patio, and we'll see you back in the ring for the exciting conclusion of the Grand Prix. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are all set to go for the exciting conclusion here in this great class here. 4 international riders set to compete here today, and we've got a great one. She definitely has the experience on her side, riding for so many times here across Canada at the highest levels of competition. She's got a great one here in Cornet VD Bishop. This is Carly Campbell Cooper, the first of 2 Canadians here to go. 4 riders testing the course here today, designed by Olaf Peterson. And we are all set to go here in the main stadium.
Carly's all wound up and ready to go right here. We'll see how aggressive she is. Only it's tough to go first. You don't know how fast the other rider's going, but she is looking for a win right now, galloping and building nice speed heading into here. The BFL Oxer holding up and nicely in there with a nice inside cut on that BFL Oxer there. Rounding out and coming through on the Leons right now. Good momentum and up and through. Handling that big Oxer with ease here as she heads through the final area in the course here, through the combination.
That's what we like to see, breaking the barrier there on the 40-second mark, 39.96 there. That's your first double clear round. Carly Campbell-Cooper getting it done with that masterful ride aboard Cornet VD Bishop. That is your class leader in reference time. That is going to be a tough one to beat. You know, 4 horses to go here in the jump off, and it's going to be tough to beat that time, I think. Carly coming out first, setting the pace very aggressively right now. Everybody knows what's ahead of them and how to beat it, and we'll see if this man can do it. This is Christian Coyle. He's competing out of Ireland, and he's aboard Ma Pomme de Tamerville.
Carly picking and choosing her spots to gain speed and shave time throughout the course. It could be possible to see there's 3 left to go here today. We'll see if her time will continue to hold. It's holding right now 39.96 in the reference. Wound up and ready to go here with the Irishman. Gallop down into the sprucewood, pounding it there through that fence and galloping tight in around the island, moving into the BFL Oxer and a nice launch there and a gallop through the middle section of the course as he gets prepared to round up here into the Leons. Very nicely done, and he's definitely faster so far through the first section of the course and pounding away here on a nice inside cut on that double as he heads home here through the double combination.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that's your new class leader. Wow, what a performance there from Christian Coyle, narrowly beating the time set by Carly Campbell-Cooper. 38.72 is going to be your new reference time there. The Irish take the lead away from the Canadians. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome back from the United States of America in this 3-way battle between nations here, just like we had on Thursday night. She rides under pressure, and she's ready to get it done for the Americans right here. She's aboard a beautiful horse named Chalasco Z. Let's cheer her on from the United States, Marilyn Little, last night's winner of the Grand Prix. Let's see if the second night is a charm.
It's always a great pleasure to have our friends from the United States come and visit us here in Canada. We spent the last couple evenings getting to know mother-daughter combination right here, and they've been having a nice tour around North America. Really are competing down in Princeton and joining us up here at Caledon this week. She's got the motor on right now. She heads into the BFL. Very nicely done there on the inside part of that Oxer. She heads over here to the Leons with good momentum heading through, and nicely done with a masterful cut as she heads back towards the ingate here and just brings down the first rail there on that Oxer. She was really motoring there, looking to come out on top. We'll see how her time will fare up and compare with her current leader, and she's through the final line.
Oh, I tell you, she was really motoring out there, and she had the time, I tell you, 38.55. She was going for gold there, and she is so competitive. She took that goal really tight as she crossed the in-gate there. The first rail coming down in that big Oxter of the Nations Cup. Jump there over on that side, coming down, and that will hold her back, but she definitely had enough to go on top with only one left to go. All right, folks, currently we have the Irishman holding on top, and Christian Coyle, Mapum de Tamraville. They're your current leaders with a time of 38.72. This young lady from Canada is in the ring, and she is rearing to go. This horse is absolutely incredible, and it definitely has what it takes to post these times. Copen de Picklebell Z and Rachel Schneer, the last to go here for the Canadians to see if they can take down the Irish. Rachel getting set right here, a big gallop with Picobello here, and she rounds down. She got her leg on right here, and she looks to be about neck and neck right now with the current leader. She got her leg on and a big gallop across the midsection of the field with a nice cut into the Leons, up and over, very nicely done, and she is motoring. Now this is the fence that Marilyn had a problem with. She's taking a little bit more cautious, right in the middle, no problem at all with that, as she rounds out for the final area of the course here through the double combination. She gets it done. Let's look at the time. Let's look at the time. Wonderful ride there for Rachel Schneer and Copen de Picobello, and she has the time. Yes, 37.80. Canada takes it away from the Irishman, and what an amazing ride there for Rachel Schneer and Copen de Picobello. Absolutely lights out here in Sunday afternoon there, and she takes down the Irishman 37.8. She is absolutely thrilled. She's going to come back through and meet up with her team, the owners, the trainers, and they are going to celebrate back there. Wow, what an amazing, amazing conclusion to that class right there. It was a battle between three nations, and we've been seeing this rivalry. That's what it's all about here in Nations Cup week here at Caledon. And it was, like I said, it was so nice to welcome the world here this week. And of course, we look towards August as well at Angelstone, and the start order for those Grand Prix and the 5 stars is going to be absolutely incredible. So many of the top 100 riders competing there over in Rockwood, and we saw some great national battles there tonight. All right, so we're going to get things set right now in the main stadium and welcome our winners to the winner's circle. For all of you who are joining us online, we very much thank you for joining us here today and sharing the national competition with you here today, and we hope to see you back again soon. We'll get things set in the ring. We welcome our riders in just a few moments.
That's all right.